Hey guys, welcome back to the garage today for another project that we're going to be starting on today. Several projects in the work as always, golf cart, S10, and now this project as well. But it's a nice sunny day here in Georgia. Beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, and slightly warmer today. We're low to mid 60s, so it's a good day to have the garage door open. And we got a little bit time left today to get some work done, so we're going to start on this project. So let's roll the intro. All right, guys, for this project today, you guys may have seen this in the background of either the S10 video or the golf cart, but you've seen all this 1-inch square tubing on the floor. I went and picked it up from my local metal supply place, and they're able to get it for me for a pretty decent deal, I would say. But I went in and told him I needed about 80 feet. I told him I needed a lot. That's a lot to my standards. And he told me that's not a lot of tubing. So he got it for me. They come in 20-foot lengths. He cut them into 10-foot lengths for me so I could put them into the back of the pickup truck and brought them on home. So it's enough material to do two projects. One, we're going to make this table, this roll-around work table for here in the garage. I'll explain more on that in a second. And then also our foot pad for the golf cart. The old pad is right there, diamond plate with 1-inch square tubing. It worked. It was fine, but in typical Walters Aircraft Works fashion, it's not good enough. So we're going to make a new one that's a little bit better looking, in my opinion. Not so boxy and kind of cheap looking. And we'll make it fit the aviation aesthetic as well. But that video is for a later time. So in today's episode, you guys have probably seen the renditions of my garage getting changed. These Milwaukee packout boxes were originally mounted to the wall over here, but in the expansion process of getting my welder and belt sander and all this other stuff, as you can see, I also got a hydraulic press. Shout out Dad for wanting to upgrade and give me the old ones. But I didn't like these being mounted on the wall. I had a piece of plywood, I think it was like 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch plywood on the top that I had stained to make it into like a continued work surface from this. It just continued on this way. And it wasn't really that usable with the shelves above it. So I saw a guy on YouTube make a roll around work table out of some square tubing and a bunch of these Milwaukee drawers, which I have that 1-3 drawer, the 1-2 drawer, the cabinet thing, and then I have all of these pack outs with miscellaneous hardware and plastic clips, rib nuts, etc. in there. And it's just a great way to organize, in my opinion. Very similar to back in the day using like fishing Plano boxes. And as you guys have seen over the years, over the time that I've been here on YouTube, that I like using the Milwaukee stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a table that's 70 inches long by 3 feet wide. And it is going to house 6 of these, well, actually 5, and I'll tell you why I'm doing 5 here in a minute, of these Milwaukee packout drawers, is because they're great for storage and just make the best use of the space. Plus, I already have these. So what we'll do is we'll put 3 on one side and 2 on the other side. Just imagine 1 here and 1 here, like butted up to each other. We'll probably change the orientation of these. We may put the cabinet here and that one there. This one, I don't know if we'll keep it like this. It's got this cord reel on it. I do like having the cord reel on it, but I don't know how it'll fit with like the uprights of the tubes. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do these 3, probably get 2 more, and then those will end up here, you know, somewhere over here. Maybe even on top of these, because from a side profile, the table's probably going to be the same height as my toolbox. So, you know, we'll have a little bit of space in there for buffer space. But in the meantime, I got this. This is the handle off of this toolbox. I figured, you know, maybe we could just put some rib nuts in that and use that as a handle for moving the table around. We also got in this box right here, I ordered a set of wheels off of Amazon for it. These are able to hold, I think it's like 2,500 pounds or something like that on all these. They are all free castering. I did not get 2 fixed and 2 swiveling, mainly because since we're doing so much storage in it, that it would make sense that we'd be able to, if my fingers here are the table, be able to 360 the table to get to storage stuff if we need it. The mix of this, that's not good English. The idea behind this table is that we will be able to use it for many of different things with, you know, future golf cart planning of wiring, and just be able to move it in and out of the way. So we can either put it over there when we're not using it, or I have moved all this stuff around in here thinking that we could put it right in this area and still be able to back the car in here and be just fine. The stool tucks back. The Indian's pulled out just a little bit. It can actually slide back another couple inches, and then that stool can go right there where the front tire is. The table go in there, and then these will obviously be on the table. So it'll help get rid of a lot of clutter here in the shop. So a lot of this will probably be time lapse for you guys, but the dimensions are here on my card. The logo, don't worry about that. We'll handle that at a later time, but it's going to have a nice wood top on it with a epoxy resin top. And then when we get it all said and done, we'll throw this metal frame in the back of the pickup truck and we'll go over and get it powder coated so it's protected and looks nice, and then do final assembly. So let's get to it. Okay guys, we got our main squares of the table cut up. The lower section and the upper section, I just stacked them on top of each other like that just to kind of compare sizes. We went through 4 sticks of our tubing, which isn't a big deal. It was 2 sticks per I could do 1 long side and 1 short side on a stick. And then that left us with these little stubs right here, which will be fine. We'll be able to use those for the feet. So we can cut those off. They'll probably only be 3 or 4 inches long, and then have a piece of 1/4-inch plate probably on them for the wheels. But for now, we're at our kind of a stopping point. At the moment, it's currently Halloween and 2025, and there's a party tonight that a friend of mine's hosting. So we got to cut it short tonight, but we should be back on this tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll go ahead and cut up. The top will have a brace here and a brace here in it, and those will get welded in. And the bottom will have probably a couple braces in it because we got, I don't know if you guys noticed earlier, but the tabs mounted underneath there. So we'll do that, and then we'll weld all this up. Oh, and we got to cut the verticals. So we got to do that math on what that is. I think I initially planned for 40 inches tall. I don't know how tall, see how tall these work. This, see how tall this toolbox is. 3 feet tall, just almost 3 feet tall, just over 3 feet tall. So I don't know if we want to plan for that or if we want to plan to make it a little bit taller. I like this height. This height is pretty nice to work on. So I might just make it to the height of this chain. Instead of doing 40 inches, we might do, what is that, 36 inches? Yeah, 36 inches tall. So anyways, that's it for today. We'll be back out here tomorrow to continue on. Hey guys, we're back in the shop again today for day 2 of the table build. Yesterday we got the top frame and the lower frame built for the pack out boxes, and today we are back at it. We did some math here. Yeah, don't ask, but we did some measurements on how tall the wheels are, the 2 layers that we have laying there on the floor. We're going to use 1/4 inch plate for the wheels. The wood's going to be 3/4 inch plywood, and add it all together. And with us wanting it to be 40 inches tall, we did the math for the little pieces that are going to go down to the floor and hold the 1/4 inch plate in the wheels. We're going to make those 3 inches. And then the vertical posts are going to be 28 3/4. So out here we have the saw set back up to cut some straight. These are just the leftovers I had from yesterday. We're going to cut those at 3 inches. And then we'll grab one of the big sticks and we'll cut those to 28 3/4. So little update on that. We'll get to cutting on those. And then what we'll end up having to do, I think, is still waiting on the welder to get wired up. I have a solution to that, I think. So we'll get that set up here hopefully later today so we can start welding this thing out. But if not, we'll end up running over to Home Depot, getting a piece of plywood. So we'll have that on hand. And then we also got to go in and get the Cricut out to do the vinyl for the top and also for the trailer. So we got plenty of stuff to do, but I'm going to set you guys up in a time lapse so you guys can continue on in this process with me. Okay guys, we got those cut, and for now I think that's where we're gonna call it with cutting pieces. We definitely have some more to cut, but what we need to do now is get the welder set up, and I gotta go do the wiring stuff to get the welder ready to run. Just my garage is not set up for a 220 outlet at the moment, but I've been working behind the scenes to get that figured out. So the short pieces right there, those are the 3 inch pieces. They're going to go from the bottom square down, and then these are the uprights that are going to separate the two, the bottom square and the upper square. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the welder set up. We're going to weld out these frames, make sure that they're nice and square. And then what we'll do is we'll weld the uprights to them, and then we'll also weld those lower pieces, and that will get our square set. All right, guys, welcome back to the shop. Sorry, I got recovering from a little bit of a cold here, so voice is smoked. But here in Georgia today, it's a beautiful day, 70 degrees. Back in the garage today, working on the table. We got some new goodies to get, hopefully this thing welded up tonight. We got, well, this afternoon, morning, whatever you want to call it. Got the welder wired up. It's ready to go for our welding project. This is kind of the test run to see how it goes. But we got a fixture table I picked up this morning at Harbor Freight, ready to go. And we got all the fancy mounts and stuff for it. We got a folding table set up here with our sander put on it so we can sand bevels into it, and then we'll hook it to the fixture table, run the welder over there, and hook it up. So for the sake of my voice, we're going to do a lot of time lapsing today, but we'll try to get it all welded out today and standing as a freestanding piece. And then we got to go get some 1/4-inch plate for the mounting surfaces for the wheels. And then picked up this drill press off Facebook Marketplace the other day, and we'll use that to drill and tap the 1/4-inch plate. So let's get to it. Okay, guys, we just took a break, got some lunch, and we're back at it. As you guys saw at the end of that time lapse, we got this one box complete, or the lower section complete with the little feet for the wheels. We got to weld the 1/4-inch plate to those. We'll probably also use some of this scrap to cut these on 45s and probably weld these, something like that, just to stiffen them up even more, just because we have the extra material. And I have a feeling this table is going to be pretty heavy. So for now, we'll call this good. And we'll have to put them cross pieces in there for these right here when we get more of these. And they'll go in here something kind of like that, I would guess. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So now what we'll do is we'll just do the same thing, make the next rectangle, and then put the verticals in, and then weld that to this. And then, then we'll make some cross pieces. All right, guys, we got it welded up. We got the frame here, the frame there, the verticals, and pretty happy with all of it. All the welds are cleaned up and grinded up to where I'm satisfied with them. They're not super clean, but they're all gonna be covered up mainly. So what we'll do now is we'll do a little bit of cleanup. Probably put that table away, set this face down over here, and then, or maybe not, maybe we'll just move this over there and then flip this over on top of it. And then we'll weld this to this, and then we'll be good to go. We'll have to put in the cross support pieces and those 45s, like I said, but it's coming together. Looking pretty good. So we'll do a little bit of cleanup here, and we'll start another time lapse when I get it set up. Okay, guys, we got it welded out and flipped upside down, and I cut a few pieces off camera because we were running out of daylight really fast. As you can see, we're burning the midnight oil now. I cut some 45s here for these just to stiffen those up. So we'll have to weld those in, and then we cut some straight pieces at 34 inches. And those will get measured so they're evenly spaced across the top. And that will be the stiffeners for the top. Then here we just mocked up one of these packout drop-in plates, and just looking at it for some sorry guys, I am struggling with this cold, but we have it mocked up just for test purposes, because I was trying to see how many of these middle stringers we're gonna need, because since I have the saw out, I'm gonna just cut up what we need. We're down to one stick left, and I'm hoping that will be just for the golf cart. So I'm hoping that with the measurements we can just drop this one in here, and then we can be able to stretch 3 of those across. We'll give it a shot, we'll see, but I don't have enough clamps. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna tack this one in just real quick, down and dirty, and then move the clamps over to hold this one in to see if we can use the measuring. But I'll set up a time lapse so you guys can watch while I do this real quick. Okay guys, we got those 2 cross members put in, and they're all measured to the right distance. so we can put in more of those brackets if we need to. And you guys watched me weld in 4 of the 8 of those stiffener blocks. I'm gonna go ahead and do these 4 off camera because there's already so much time lapse in this video. And then I'll go ahead and weld in the stiffener bars down there on the bottom, just because I gotta hurry this one up. But I'm going out trail riding tomorrow, so I gotta get the motorcycle out and get it ready for trail riding tomorrow. Get the trailer out and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to knock out the rest of this welding tonight, get this cleaned up, and then move the cars and stuff around so I can get to the trailer, put the golf cart in here, etc. But that'll do it for tonight. We'll get all that welded in, and then the only thing we'll really be waiting on is the 1/4-inch plate. I'm gonna try to get some of that hopefully tomorrow, and then we can just weld that stuff on. And then hopefully when I get back from trail riding tomorrow, I can, since I'll have the truck, I'm gonna throw it in the bed of the truck and run it over to the place in Covington that will powder coat it for me. I think I'm just gonna do a metallic black is what I'm gonna do. But then what we'll do is for the bottom, we'll just drill and riv nut into these for the brackets. And then the top, I don't really know what we're gonna do yet for the top. We'll probably riv nut it and screw it with some countersunk screws and then just epoxy over the screws. But just wanted to bring you in on those. I think those will be plenty strong for what we're trying to do, plus give a little bit of character with some scraps that we got. So I'll bring you back in once I get done welding it all out, or once we get it powder coated. Guys, we're back on the table today. We got it back from powder coating, got it in the back of the truck. We also got the powder coating for the golf cart pad, but that'll be in a later video. Table started to get set up. We'll talk about that later. But for now, we have a setup here for the wheels. We got some hardware and riv nuts and our ratchet for that. And we also have the riv nut squeezer. So I'm going to cut the chatter and put you guys up in the tripod, and we're going to throw these wheels on this thing and get this thing rolled inside so we can get that top put on and the epoxy drying. So see you guys on the other side of the time lapse. Okay guys, we got a rolling frame. So now what we're gonna do is, for the sake of setting it and forgetting it later, we're going to, for when we cut the top and get the top laid, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and grab our frames here, and we're gonna get rid of all this other junk. Here we go. We're gonna grab these, and then we're gonna get these set on there, and we can get them placed where we need them. Gonna have to do a little bit of measuring to probably grab a couple of those pieces with the handles on them that stick out so we can set the depth. And then we're gonna drill, and they came with this hardware right here that we're gonna use for them. So we'll do this, and this is what we'll use to mount those. Same deal, drill, riv nut those in place. I only have enough of this hardware for 2 sets, unfortunately. I don't have the third one. I was thinking I was gonna do something different with that. But anywho, we'll set you back up in time lapse. We'll get those mounted and we'll keep on trucking. Okay guys, we got the 3 of those mounted. I only ordered 3 of those plates at the moment because I didn't know if I was gonna like these at this height. So I just ordered 3. I knew I was gonna need one for this and need one for this, but I didn't really know if I wanted to have these as the bottoms and then do some more of those as the tops. Like if these were gonna come down, or the guy that I was watching that did it hung them from the top. He put a piece of wood across this and then used these contraptions and locked them in like this and then screwed them to the wood on top, hung them from the top. So I did buy some of these in case I decide to use them, but for right now, I have them set up like this just because I don't have enough panels. I'll probably order 2 more of those panels and do like 1, 2. If you guys noticed, I couldn't get this one to snap in over there because of these. So what I may end up having to do is when I mount some on that side is maybe side shift them just a little bit so they're away from that pole. But it's also cool that I can double stack. So I may just leave it as is and get another one to go right here. And then over here, I was thinking about maybe one right there and one right there. And then maybe just doing like a wood pad right here. And then I could put like my sander down there or my air compressor down there. Or if I want to, I can put my chop saws down there as well. I don't really know. So for now, that's how it's going to sit until I order some more of those. Really happy with it. Those brackets mount up great. I didn't, everybody asked me, they were like, well, why don't you, or my friends and stuff that came over and looked at it, they said, why don't you put wood down there and then screw those to the wood? Well, it's like this over here. It's like the more surface you have, the more dust that collects in there. Same deal right there, more dust. So I figured if we use those brackets, less material for dust to collect on, easier to clean, looks better, and you know, I don't mind the looks of that. So now what we're doing is we got the table out here set up. For the top, I went ahead and measured for about 1.5 inch lips of overhang on each side here and here. So we'll go ahead and cut that to length. And I have this giant straight edge, measured it to where it's straight, and so all I got to do is butt my skill saw up against it and it'll cut down the line all the way down. So we'll do the same there on this piece, and then we'll do the same going this way. And then what we'll do is we'll grab the sander, we'll sand all the edges, take off some of this splintering, take off my fingerprints, round the corners. I'm not going to hit any of this with a router or a round over bit. And you may ask why. It's because all of this is getting covered in epoxy. So we're going to sand it smooth. We're going to take off the fingerprints, that stuff. Then you guys saw the vinyl decal sitting on top of it earlier. We'll have to make sure every ounce of sawdust is off of this so it sticks and sticks well. And I think it's going to be a fast process. We're going to have to stick it, and fingers crossed it sticks on there long enough to where we can pour the epoxy right over the top of it and then the epoxy will be the weighted surface to hold it down to the wood. But anyways, there's not much more to it. Oh, and then we'll also set this on there again, and we'll have to make some, we'll trace the inside of these lines with a pencil on the bottom side, because I got these countersunk Phillips screws to go, one there, one in the middle, one there, same on that side to hold the top down. And then so we'll do that, same deal, riv nuts in the corners, and we'll get that all mounted up looking good. And then like I said, we'll get it cleaned up. We'll probably blow it off really, really well, and then lay the vinyl and do the epoxy. We're gonna do all this in a time lapse. I see no reason to split it up into individual segments. Pretty straightforward, simple process. Keep you guys in the loop. And when we get the epoxy laid down, we'll I'll bring you back in and we'll show you how it goes. All right, guys, and just like that, I had to stop the time lapse and use my phone for some math, and actually took some pictures of it because I wanted it to look at it in the picture from up above to make sure it looks centered. But anyways, we got the decal laid. It actually stuck to the wood great. And then what we're gonna do now is the epoxy's on it, and we're gonna let it cure up, and it looks really good. It's a little cloudy as of this moment, but hold on a second. Coming over here to, I was hoping to grab my spatula real quick. There it is. Grab my spatula. I noticed a spot over here where it didn't look like it was fully set up against the tape. Very good. All right, there we go. All right, but sorry about that and the shaky camera, but doing a couple things at once and wanting to monitor this epoxy curing, but I am overly happy with that. I think we're gonna call it here at the end of this video, because you guys are more or less gonna see what will happen with it in the next video. But when it cures up in the next day or two, we'll peel the tape off, and then what we'll do is we'll probably take the saw to it and run the saw down the sides to square up the ends, just because the tape wall isn't overly the best way to do that. But overall, I think it's gonna look really good. It's already, when I mixed it, it was very white, very, very white looking, but now it's starting to clear up and looks pretty good. So get out in your shop, build a table, work on a project you got, and we'll see you next time.